Wickhurst Green is a new development to the west of Horsham and south of Broadbridge Heath village. It has a number of good transport links serving the site with the A24 and the A264 and Christ Hospital train station just to the south of the development. At Countryside we work with a whole range of landowners on small sites and very large developments, and it's absolutely paramount to us that we don't differentiate between the quality we produce, so we ensure that the detailing is absolutely of the highest standard across all of our developments.
We've used a series of different character areas at Wickhurst Green to try and differentiate the offer that we have on site, and it's included the smaller, more village feel of the earlier phases and then the larger, less dense developments that we've done on the edge of the site, creating different feel and character and also appealing to different buyers. Not only does that help create a sense of place, but it helps drive the sales rate. It gives consumers the choice of what type of property they want to buy and maximises the target audience for the development.
We've got a number of very mature oak trees, which enables us to provide a series of open spaces and a green sort of wedge that came through the heart of the development to create a number of different green fingers, as we like to call them, and that enabled us to build up the street hierarchy, and we were then able to use those green spaces to start to frame and to form the character of how different spaces worked.
Whenever I describe anybody who's come into the house, say you turn down towards the green, it's the first green that you come to down Palmer Avenue, you'll see the big open space. Probably the kids will all be playing out in the green because that's what they do all the time, and you can't miss it because everyone who comes down here falls in love with the area and they can see why we wanted the house that we wanted.
So the site essentially transitions across from the Wickhurst Green development, which is very traditional, into the more contemporary look of the New England style. But the important thing for us is that we've managed to ensure that the quality is maintained to the highest standards. If you look at the landscaping around that particular part of this development, that's of an incredibly high standard.
For us, it's been great to work with Countryside on this project, a real opportunity to look at providing variation in the typology and size of houses to meet everyone's needs.
Placemaking is about many things, but one of the things is about the variety of different house types we use. And what we want to ensure is that creating great variety in the streets we provide through different types of building forms and different types of articulation and design features within each of the buildings.
We looked at a few different developments. We had got our hearts set on a new property, and some of the other developments we looked at were all very samey and very same size, same look, and we were looking for things that were a bit more interesting.
Countryside have really made a lovely effort to make it a very village live-in. At this particular location, I think they've actually found it, for me, is 100% spot on. You couldn't ask for a better place to live, I don't think. And Countryside properties have been absolutely fantastic with us.
When you sort of move around Horsham, you can see these old characters, and they've actually tried to integrate those kind of details into the housing. So that's what we really loved about the properties, is it's just all different, really.
It gives it that nice sort of the feel of an old village that's been there a long time.
We get a huge amount of compliments around the variety of the homes we provide, so that people feel we've actually bespoke the houses for them, rather than them just buying another house.
Even though there's a huge variety in the external appearance of the dwellings, the quality of the internal spaces is consistent throughout and has been carefully considered by the design team.
The reason we chose Countryside was we liked the finishings of the properties, had beautiful finishes, great sort of character interior, and we also have beautiful features of lovely window inside, nice garden room area, which made our living space much larger than some other properties we looked at as well. So
yeah, lots
really
of light, and it's just a nice space.
What we like about our house is that it is slightly unique. They call it the designer Wakeford because it's the only one of its type with the big window down the side which lets in all the light down the stairwell. We absolutely love the garden room with the windows in the ceiling. It really does open up that whole lounge area and make it seem so much bigger and brighter.
It's great now coming back to the site to see the development progressing and to see people starting to use these spaces and the sense of community developing across the site. And this is really what we're looking to create throughout our developments as we look to create places people love.
Countryside really do care about the detail of their developments. When you walk around this development, the finish of the driveways, the walls, the dwellings themselves, all these elements combine to create a real sense of place, a place that people want to live.
We felt that Countryside had tapped in on what modern people want and what they're looking for nowadays, the size of rooms, etc., and the light and the quality of the fixtures and fittings. Countryside do really well.
I love coming home because I just love the look of the property. It just sort of has, you know, a real cosy feel to it, and it gives you really like warm memories about what you're creating in your space.
Makes us really proud, and Countryside Properties have been really fantastic. We're not going to be going anywhere. I don't think our children will let us move anywhere else.